Hey folks, we are continuing our journey through the 15 most common topics or tools that interviewers are asking or probably will ask in a DevOps or SRE interviews. So before I start though, let me make the view larger so you can see better. So the idea is I went through LinkedIn job descriptions and counted up all the words and sorted them. So the topic that you see like cloud and CI/CD are more important than the topics that you see at the bottom like Docker containers and system design. However, knowing from experience, I think not what you see in the list here may not necessarily reflect reality all the way, because my gut says some of the topics like containerization or Kubernetes or Git or even Terraform really should be ranked much higher. But it is what it is. I want to present the data in one shot and give you my perspective from another. I don't want to mix the two. Okay, today I'm going to go on to number 6, networking. That's the topic. Sometimes you get questions about networking in the DevOps SRE interview. I would say more often than not, you don't. However, you do have to know networking to do the job. It's kind of one of the fundamentals, right? So you might get a networking question, especially if the company that was trying to hire you has a network problem, or if the network issues do come up during their day-to-day jobs, right? So that's when people might ask you about a networking question. So today's question is: can you explain how TCP three-way handshake works and what might cause it to break? Right now, on the surface, this is pretty fundamental question, right? What the interview is looking for, though, is your understanding how, at the very fundamental level, how a communication works between the two servers. If you understand that and you can articulate that in a good way, that shows the interviewer that you understand how networking works, right? And if you can't, then it's almost a certain fail, because this is so fundamental of understanding how two servers communicate that you would be deemed to be not a qualified candidate for the role. Okay, so before I get to the answer, just a reminder, Floyd Spencer is my career coach. I have no business relationship with him. I just want people to really use his expertise and his passion about helping people who are on the job market. His website is floydspencer.com, and you can get a free 1 hour session anytime you want. Moving on. So I hope you can read the slide. There's a lot of stuff in here, but I'm going to try and summarize that. I'm going to put this in the description so that if you really need to read word for word, you can do that. But here's the thing: when you're talking about a three-way handshake, you can think of this as real life, and you can really speak like this in an interview, right? It's much better when you can explain things in a metaphorical kind of way. So when you want to make a phone call or whatever, right, to somebody else, you send a packet saying, "Hey, are you there?" Right? And then the other person says, "Yep, I'm here. I'm listening to you." But that person doesn't know that you heard his or her response, right? So you have to send a third packet from your side saying, "Hey, I heard you as well." Right? So that's the three-way handshake. So when two servers start to communicate, they go through this process every time a new connection is set up. There's the SYN packet that goes out, SYN-ACK message that comes back, and the original sender, sends a ACK packet back to the receiver, right? So that's the three-way handshake. Now, when can it fail? It can fail for many reasons. Some of the main ones are, first of all, you can have a network issue where the packets are being dropped, and if the packets are being dropped, you may not establish a connection. You may not be able to complete this three-way handshake. You can have a firewall that's blocking you. You can have a server being so overloaded that it doesn't have time or the CPU cycles to respond back to you. You can also have an IP address misconfiguration where the packets are going every which way, and so it's not reaching the destination that you think it's going to reach, right? And there are a few other scenarios that I can think of, but I'm not going to bore you with all the details today. But this will be enough details for you to know to answer this particular question. Okay, if you have any really specific question for me, you can reach me on LinkedIn, doing a search on my name. I will try my best to answer it. Okay, I will see you in the next video. Hope you found this useful.